How to start wholesaling vacant land for beginners step by step. Guys, it's Rick Ginn. In today's video, I'm going to teach you a strategy called wholesaling vacant land. And I'm going to show you why it's so advantageous over just doing single family houses. And we'll do a comparison. And by the end, you'll know exactly how to get started in it. But before I get into it, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, you hit that subscribe button to continue to receive videos just like this. So by now, you've probably figured out wholesaling single family houses and even multifamily houses is a wonderful way to get financially free. And it's been around for a long time and it's become really popular in the last 10 years. But I'm here to tell you, you can use the exact same strategy and apply it to vacant land with significantly less competition. And here's the killer part. It's actually easier. You see, wholesaling vacant land is the exact same thing as you do wholesaling on single family houses. You just take the house off the land and you're just selling the land. What does this do for you? Number one, you don't have to deal with tenants. You don't have to deal with like rental property issues with income and expenses because it's zero. There's nothing there. There's no homeowner occupied properties. Nobody ever lives there. And here's the really cool part is you remove a lot of the headaches that are associated with wholesaling single family houses. Think about it. One of the biggest catches is you have to have your cash buyers walk through the property. Well, not every owner is cooperative. A lot of times tenants won't let anybody in there. Wholesaling vacant land actually fixes this entire problem. You see, you can run anybody you want over that property because most likely they're going to look on a computer and as far as they're going to go is drive by the property. See, you can't screw it up. You could send 100 buyers and you're not going to have that same problem you do when you wholesale houses, which how do you get access to the property with a difficult seller or a very difficult tenant? It can actually kill your deal. Wholesaling vacant land, you don't have that issue. And also keep in mind, there's no like crazy home inspection. You don't have to go and check out the roof. You don't have to worry about the foundation. There's none of that stuff. You don't have to worry about the gold fixtures. It is just the price of the land. Another great feature of wholesaling vacant land is you typically get much longer inspection periods, somewhere between 60 and 90 days. Why? They don't live on the property. They know it takes a little bit of time and they just don't care and they'll give it to you. Try it with single family homes. You're lucky if you get 2 to 3 weeks in today's market. The reality is you get a lot more flexibility with the vacant lots. So along with your longer inspection periods, which enables you to have more time to chase down a cash buyer because it's a little bit more challenging on these properties, I want you to understand vacant landowners, they are not emotionally attached like they are to the single family houses. You see, when somebody sells a house, they're typically attached to the home part. This is where my kids grew up. I'm attached to it. When they buy a piece of property, either they bought it as an investment or maybe they're going to build a dream home and it never transpired. They're emotionally removed. And a lot of times, say if the owner paid $3,000 for the lot and say the lot's worth 30 grand today, and honestly, you make an offer of 6 grand, a lot of times in that vacant land owner's thoughts, I just doubled my money. And here's the really cool part. This is the last part I want to explain to you is the benefit of wholesaling vacant land is there is so much less seller's data out there. What do I mean by that? It's really hard just to value land. And that's one of the advantages of it. Now, it seems difficult up front. But remember, if you're struggling to figure out what the value of the land is, how is the seller going to figure out what the value of the land is? You see, that's your superpower. You just can't go to Zillow's estimate. It's very hard to get accurate comp numbers on vacant land. It's just that simple. Fast forward to single family houses, anybody can push a button. Zillow, Redfin, anything, PropStream, Batch, any of it, and they can get instant numbers. Realtor.com, they actually, the homeowners get overloaded with data and they always seem to pick the highest price. You're going to have the opposite effect on land because there's very little data on it. And a lot of times the sellers go, hey, what do you think it's worth? So it is a huge advantage and nobody ever talks about it. Don't forget this when you look at wholesaling vacant land. That lack of data goes back to the early 2000s when I first started wholesaling houses. Homeowners really didn't have an accurate number of what their house was worth and they relied heavily on realtors. Fast forward today, you have the same thing going on in vacant land. They're going to have to rely on people just like you and me to give them values. So here's the strategy play on it. Now that you understand all the benefits of wholesaling vacant land and why it's so popular right now, you have to come up with a strategy. The strategy is simple. Do not complicate it. You need to find pockets of areas where there is a large influx of cash buyers for vacant land properties. Let me repeat that. You have to locate the areas where there is demand, high demand for vacant lots. How do you do that? You have to go look in the property records and do the last 6 month search of cash buyer vacant land in that area. You see, once you find where everybody wants the demand, the equation gets much easier. If you pick a market and there's no demand, like a rural area or like somewhere where there's just very little development, you're wasting your time and money. Go to where the demand is. That is key number one. So the first equation of wholesaling vacant land is always doing it in reverse order. You've got to find the cash buyers. Once you find the cash buyers, you can pinpoint your locations. And then from there, you can figure out what pricing strategies those cash buyers are paying that area. So you can reverse engineer your offers so you can put a deal together. So let me give you a couple techniques that you can easily locate cash buyers at your fingertips. I'll give you free ones and I'll give you some paid services. Number one, you can go to listsource.com. I know that is a paid one, but you can actually go there and do it for free. All you have to do is pull up the property type. You're looking for vacant land and you're going to look for cash buyers, free and clear, that have bought land in the last 6 months. Now, you're going to have to initially guess where these properties are. If you want to do the guessing, I would always start with like Redfin, even like a realtor.com. There's some retail sites like landwatch.com, and you get an idea where the activity is. And once you think you have a hunch where the activity is, go to ListSource. And what you need to do is when you go to download the data, you're not going to pay for it. All you want to do is a partial suppression, and then you're going to pick it by zip code. And this will give you a breakdown of how many cash buyers are in that zip code for that area, that city, that county. And that is a great starting point to pinpoint your demand so you can go and locate those vacant land deals. Another way I like to do it is through listrei.com. And then once again, you're going to go to the property type. You're going to look for vacant land, look for residential vacant land. That's what we're focusing on. And then you want to look for free and clear in the last 6 months. You can go back as far as 12 months. I prefer 6 months. And then you will get all those cash buyers in those areas. And number one, you want to correlate the data and see if you're pointing in the right pocket. I never want to use just one source. I like to look at as many as possible. And the next step is start building your cash buyers list. Find out what areas they like to buy, what price points, and what size of lots. It could be an 1/8 of an acre, 1/4 of an acre, 1/2 acre, full acre, or 5 and 10 acre parcels. And once you get an idea of like their numbers and what they'll pay for it, then all you have to do is go into that market, find the sellers, the owners of the property, look them up. You can pull the list through both sources I just shared with you, listrei.com. You can use ListSource. Heck, you can use Redfin. And once you get the owner's information, just cross-reference that to the property appraiser site. You get the owner's information, and then from there, you can skip trace the owner's phone number. You can use truepeoplesearch.com, or you can use smszack.com to skip trace your data. And the easiest way to reach out to these people, honestly, guys, my favorite way is always going to be cold calling and texting. It's extremely efficient. It is a one-man, woman operation, and it is the best way to get out as much marketing as humanly possible because you're going to need numbers to make this work. So now the next step is you have a strategy, you've picked a market, you've built your cash buyers list. Now you're going to reach out and use cold calling, SMS. Some people use direct mail. If you don't have the money, use the techniques I've already taught you here. And then you just need to reach out and talk to sellers. You've got to set a goal every day to talk to as many sellers as possible. Now, don't complicate this. You can use your cell phone. You can use a complicated dialer, whatever you got it set up in your program. But the reality is try to reach out and try to connect with 100 people. Now, 100 people on a single cell phone, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you, but you just got to keep the consistency in doing this. If you call 100 and you connect with 15 and 3 of them will talk to you, you need to get to a point where you can submit them a contract. Now, the easiest way to do it is take our simple contract at freewholesaling.com and then turn it into a DocuSign. Now, occasionally you're going to have some older people that aren't technologically advanced and they want a physical contract. Just overnight the contract. It's like $25 through the United States Postal Service, and put yellow labels where they need to sign. Simplify this process. Go for as long as an inspection period as you can. Minimum is 30. You would like to go up to 90 days. And then you basically have to keep this consistency going. Honestly, 5-6 days a week, you got to constantly keep reaching out and contacting sellers of vacant lands. And eventually you'll find someone that wants to sell. And then how do you come up with the offer number? It's simple. You should have a range for the properties in that area. But honestly, the easiest way to do it is just whatever you think the value is, just cut it in half. Period. Just make it simple. And then you'll see if they'll give you a number that's workable. Because the question is, are vacant land owners motivated? Typically not. There's not a lot of motivation because unless someone needs money, maybe they're just tired of sitting on land that's not doing anything. So the qualifiers are completely different on vacant land. So what I'm looking for is there a spread between what the cash buyers in that area are buying for and what I offered. So if they're paying 50 grand in that area and I offered 20 or 25 and they go, oh, I might do 30, 35, that's somebody I'm going to write a contract for. Guys, it's literally this simple. Do not complicate this. Simplify your process. You have to find the right market. You have to get the cash buyers. And once you do your cash buyer intel and vetting, then you attack with your marketing strategy. Once you do your marketing strategy, it's a matter of consistently calling sellers and be extremely disciplined in it because it's going to take time. If you get frustrated after 3 days, you are running a sprint. You are not running a marathon. And you know at freewholesaling.com, me and Zach teach you how to run marathons. Sprinters come and go every day. A lot of you are new to this business. You've got to stick it out. This is actually easier. And if you're already wholesaling single family houses and multifamily, you can easily add vacant lands because a lot of these properties come with land that is either attached to it or needs to be subdivided. And here's the cool part is you don't have to understand how to do all this. That's why you have a title company. You can reach out to your city and county employees and they get paid to help you walk through it. Just kill them with niceness and let them educate you on the process so you can maximize your wholesaling with vacant land just like you do with single family houses. So just to recap, you've got to find the market first. I gave you all the information in this video on how to locate those markets. Then you got to find your cash buyers and get them started and do cash buyer intel. From there, you're going to employ your marketing attack. Most of you are going to do cold calling and SMS. You've got to get your list. And then you've got to be extremely consistent by being disciplined in your market. Once you do that, you're talking to sellers, you're going to write contracts, and then you're going to match them up and assign it to your cash buyers. And if you can do this over and over and just do 2 to 3 deals a month, you'll make a phenomenal amount of money. Now, on average, vacant land deals make a little bit less, but the heck, guys, they're a lot easier and you could do much more volume. And you are completely unlimited because this is nothing more than a virtual market. You can do it in your backyard, but why not do the entire country? You are not limited. Go out and find those hot markets and attack. Let me know in the comments which vacant land markets are you guys having success and are you actually doing vacant land? And as usual, if you got value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button. You hit that subscribe notification button so you can continue to receive the most updated information on wholesaling today. Guys, this is Ginn. Go out and get a deal.